Okay, everybody. Last video for day 19. I just want to go through like a few core LaTeX concepts to sort of kickstart your understanding of what's in the book. I'm not going to go through every point that's in here. I urge you to really read it carefully. So the general structure here is I talk a bit about how you format text and code and things like that, and then I spend most of the time talking about how you should write math in LaTeX, giving you various bits of code that are going to be useful for writing different things. Okay, cool. Let's start here doing the homework. So the general structure of a LaTeX document has a document class at the top that says this is the kind of document we have. Article is kind of the default. Then there's some use package commands, which say the things that you want to use. Talk about that a bit in the text. Not going to talk about it more now. Here's a command that I define, right? So LaTeX is a programming language. You can define your own commands. This is a command that I define to tell you where to fill things in. This, wherever I have \XXX in the code, you'll get fill in and delete the XXX elsewhere. Then you get begin document, and now we're cooking with gas. So down here, these percent signs, these introduce comments, right? This is stuff that's like in the document but not going to get rendered. So these are instructions to you, and you should read them. So there's some cheat sheet stuff here where I give you some like convenient stuff, but generally you're going to want to look back at the textbook for more information there. So we get here, here's the first XXX. Let's delete everything. Michael Greenberg. And I have this in auto compile mode. I set that up earlier, so that should just pop up right there. Okay, beautiful. Michael Greenberg. All right, so now we want to get to here. So you'll just go through, and for each of these, you'll want to find sort of what the XXX bits are, right? So one of the nice things that happens here is what Overleaf offers is I can click this button, and it says, show me, if I'm here in the text, show me where in the PDF I would be. So write a logical expression in terms of the Boolean variables phi, chi, and psi that will be true when exactly one of the three variables is true. Stop popping up. Write a logical I swear to God. Write a logical expression in terms of the Boolean variables phi, chi, and psi. They'll be true when exactly one of the three variables is true, right? So this lets us think up. And if I go here, I can click, click there. Okay, go back, and then it takes me back to that code there. Okay, so nice navigational view. You can set this up also for if you have it on your own computer using something called SyncTech. I'm happy to show you what to do there, though. If you search the internet for this word, it'll help you just fine. Okay, so let's look at some of the code here. So one thing I want to highlight is these dollar signs are entering math mode. Each problem I've written for you has an item, right? This is how we get the numbered problems. You notice I never say number one. I just say, here's the first item in this enumerate. All of the homeworks I'm going to give you are structured this way, where there's a big enumerate, which is an environment that says, hey, here's a list. Every item creates a numbered thing. And at the end of every problem, I'm going to write a clear page. This makes our grading easier so that every problem is on its own page. Just makes our work much simpler. Please don't get rid of these clear pages. Don't get rid of these items. Don't get rid of the enumerates. And if you can, don't change the phrasing here because we're just going to get confused if we see it, right? You don't actually get to choose the homework questions. We do. All right. Then your job is to like wherever this says answer or proof or whatever it's going to say here. That's where you'll fill in and write the bits that we're looking for. All right. Most of the time, that's going to be a mix of text and math. Here, we want you to write a truth table. If you go in here, sort of there's some later work that shows how to write a truth table here. So what you want to do is go here, show math as tech commands, and then great, there's some nice commands there. Let's just copy them. We can paste them in. And then, okay, it's complaining. What's the error? Code check failed. What are the errors? Is Lassie, is Timmy down a well? Check that you're down. Okay, blah, 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 blah. We're not in math mode. So the way to get into math mode is to write something like this, right? Anything in the textbook where I've used LaTeX code is in math mode. This is my preferred way of entering math mode. There are other ways of doing it. This to me feels like the nicest. But at this point, let's sync it up to this location in the code. Okay, their sync function isn't perfect. There we go. So now it's showing a truth table. It's not the truth table I'm asking for. It's the truth table for negation. So you have some work to do. You'll have to read the textbook to see how these column specifications work and fill in all the appropriate things with appropriate column separators and row terminators and everything. But hopefully this sort of sets you up for what to do. Other scenarios are simpler. Here I'm asking for some logical formula in terms of phi, chi, and psi. So maybe you mean like, phi, wedge, chi. Show me the code. Right, then okay, that's, wedge is how you typeset and. So I talk about these equivalences in the textbook, and you'll want to see them. So this is also not the right answer, but sort of a way to start doing things. The last thing I want to show you is here's how you typeset code. The verbatim environment is sort of the easiest way to do that. So if you ever need to write code, this is, I think, the way to embed it into your LaTeX. There are much fancier ways. There are nice packages that embed code with beautiful syntax highlighting and automatic indentation and all kinds of stuff. But this is going to do for us. So that's a nice way to write things that way. If you want to just talk about some of your code, you can just change the font to a typewriter font with TextTT. You kind of get to choose your own adventure about precisely how some of these things work, and I talk about fonts a bunch in the textbook. I also talk a little bit about how to write types and things like that. So this is a mathy way of saying that half is a nat arrow nat function. Right? This fancy n is how mathematicians write the naturals, and that's also in the textbook. Right? There's more description in the textbook of how to get beautiful math like this, definitions like this, how to do the kinds of chain equality derivations that we're looking for here, and then a final problem here, just asking you to write some sort of fancier math with fractions. The command you're going to be interested in here is something like this. Right, so to write the quadratic equation, you're going to need to use a fraction. Right, so something like these commands will be exactly the sort of thing that you'll be looking for. All right, I anticipate people are going to have lots of questions of like, how do I make this look good in LaTeX? Why is my spacing funny here? What's the command to do this? I'm getting this weird error and I don't understand it. Please post that in tools and we'll all just talk there. I think that it's really important that people do their own proofs and do their own work. I think it's fine for people to talk about the structure of their proofs and how they're going. I think collaboration is really important. I don't think it's important for you to have deduced every nuance of how LaTeX works on your own. Share code there. That's totally fine. Don't share solutions, but share like, oh, I need to typeset equations in such and such a way. Just give people the code. Search the internet. I don't care. It's what I do, right? That's like how people work here. So that's totally, totally fine. There's no prize for having figured out the LaTeX on your own. Please be very generous with sharing hints and ideas about how all that works. Okay, any questions about this? Let's talk about it on Zulip. LaTeX is a beautiful tool, or rather a tool with beautiful output and some interesting semantics. So I think we'll all have a bit of fun making some really, really beautiful documents in the coming days. Talk to you soon.